serendipity. Our show is on Thursday. We moved it to Friday. We had no idea at the time that LeBron James was going to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers like an hour ago here on Friday. The timing could not have been better. Huge props to the great Dr. X for making that switch. We are beyond the surface on the X-Rated Sports Network, and it's a very, very big day around here. Scoopy Robinson's going to join us at 3 Eastern to talk about the LeBron sweepstakes, which have been won by the Philadelphia 76ers. It's Cam, it's Ashley, it's Dwight, it's the great Dr. X. Let's dive in. So just a couple of things from the ESPN article. LeBron said he seriously considered retirement, signing with the Sixers, signing a 2-year, $8 million deal with a player option on year 2. That's a veteran minimum deal for LeBron James. He made nearly $53 million last season with the Lakers. He said, and I quote on Twitter, "I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I am so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time." So the question is, did LeBron James make the right decision? You guys already know from me, the answer is heck yeah. I've been saying Philly the whole time. Did I think it was going to happen? I don't know, but it's what we talk about. Where should LeBron go? What's the best fit, best chance to win a chip? Boom, it was Philly for me. To me, this was the only decision if you really want to win the ring. And if you're going to continue playing, he vetted retirement, decided, well, why not give yourself the absolute maximum chance of winning a ring? Philly with LeBron is better than the Cavs with Bron, or the Heat with Bron, or the Dubs with Bron. LeBron needs one more ring, okay? One more ring to become my GOAT. Right now he's 3. Jordan 1, Kareem 2, LeBron 3, Magic 4, Kobe 5. All right, if LeBron gets number 5, he's going to shoot up and become my GOAT. And I don't care if he's a 4th option, 3rd option, just get the ring, okay? Guys, Philly's depth chart right now is Embiid, James, Brown, Edgecombe, Maxey. Second unit, Bona. Dean Wade is now a bench player.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Justin Edwards, Anthony Simons, and LeBaron Fillon. Okay. Their bench needs a little bit of work. But last thing here. Philly, New York, San Antonio, and OKC are a big 4 in the NBA. They are the big 4. And I do think Philly has joined New York, San Antonio, and OKC in that big 4. Let's go to Dr. X first here. Dr. X, did LeBron, with his last decision, make the right decision?
Absolutely. I think that was a team that I felt he had the best chance to win. He didn't have to do as much heavy lifting. I felt with Miami, it would have been a lot of heavy lifting with him. You know, with that front court just seemed bogged down. There was no real back court that was dynamic. Same thing with the Warriors. You know, it would have been a kumbaya moment to see him with Steph Curry, but we already saw that with Team USA. That was just a little redundant to me. I didn't really care to see he and Draymond Green have their bromance continued. I thought that was going to be annoying, and everybody's going to be puking all season. So I'm just glad that didn't happen as well. And then lastly, I felt Cleveland felt like the right, go off into the sunset. The whole narrative about that, and maybe Bronny going there. There were a lot of fans that were really there for Bronny when he did play in Cleveland with his dad. So I thought that would have been cool. But if you want to win a chip and you want this NBA season to be really interesting, once Jaylen Brown got there, it was like a no-brainer. I felt like that's where he had to go. And once Bob Myers was saying that as well, I felt like there was a possibility. But ultimately, he has less heavy lifting to do. He's the 4th option. And that's not really, we say he's the 4th option, but once Maxey potentially goes to the bench, he could be the point forward. There's so many ways they could play this. And I know their bench may look weak, but Anthony Simons is a great bench player. I know we talk junk about Dean Wade, but his metrics are good. His numbers are good. Him coming off the bench, playing with the starting unit is going to be great. And I think the only question I have is who's their backup center? Because when Joel Embiid doesn't play a back-to-back, if he gets touched up a little bit and can't go the next game, who's the backup center? So that's really my one question. But you really have a backup point guard in LeBron James. In terms of how you switch up lineups, and ultimately, I think they have the versatility they need, and they got a A1 dog in Jaylen Brown, who said he won his own team. I think they have the perfect roster. and we'll just have to let it play out.
All right, Dwight, did LeBron make the right decision here?
Any decision he made, Rick, would have been the right decision because wherever LeBron James goes to, it's championship or bust. And that's just the reality. Whether he's 21, 31, or 41, and possibly 51, wherever he goes, they have a chance to win a championship. So if he chose Cleveland, they would have had a chance to win a championship. If he chose Miami, they would have had a chance to win a championship. Golden State would have been competitive, but maybe not Golden State. So I'll take that one team off the board. But again, the Sixers make a ton of sense. But you've heard me say it from the beginning, and a lot of people were calling me crazy. But the only team I think that would have made even more sense than the Philadelphia 76ers were the San Antonio Spurs. And it's pretty clear that LeBron is playing because he still feels that he can contribute to a championship team. All of this talk about him stat chasing, doing this, that, and the third, taking away a roster spot from a younger player. Listen, we know how it is. I knew how it was when I played. I tried to play for as long as I could. And as long as LeBron James loves the process of getting himself into shape, getting up in the morning, taking 1,000 jumpers per day, working on his game, working on his footwork, whatever the case may be, LeBron James wants to win. And he chose, outside of the San Antonio Spurs, the best possible roster for him to thrive and to achieve. I'm looking so much forward to the influence that he's going to have on Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is going to see on a daily basis, which he got a glimpse of when they teamed up with Team USA back in 2024. But now he's going to get a full NBA season and possibly two to see how and why LeBron James is still a top 15 player in the NBA, even at the advanced age of 41, going on year 42 and his 24th year in the NBA. So my answer is whatever roster he went to would have been the right decision for various reasons, but ultimately he chose the Sixers because he's trying to win not one, but two championships. He's going to be in that market for 2 years. And now I can only imagine what Philadelphia sports talk radio and television are doing right now. It must be lit in that market. They're going crazy in that market. It's also a very critical and criticizing market, but LeBron James has been through everything. So he doesn't care about that. He's trying to win. The LeBron James, outside of the San Antonio Spurs, made the absolute right decision. Philly is the place to be.
I love it, Dwight. We know that the Heatles are the most scrutinized basketball team of all time. It's not going to be quite like that, but all eyes are going to be on Philly. Wait until the schedule comes out. 1 million nationally televised games for this team. They may have the most nationally televised games. They may even have more than the New York Knicks and Wemby this upcoming season because of Bron being there. Ashley, the floor is yours. Stay as long as you want. Did LeBron make the right decision?
Well, first I want to say I love that this show is going to be so heavily packed with LeBron James talk because I love LeBron. I've respected him and I've followed him for his entire career, and he's my favorite player in the league. And when you have a guy like that who's been in the league now for 24 years, 41 years old, people can say whatever they want about him. No one brings eyeballs to the game like LeBron does. And when you even just take a look at Tyrese Maxey's reaction, Joel Embiid's reaction, any player in the NBA would have had that reaction knowing that they're going to be playing alongside LeBron James next season. That is just how impactful he is both on and off the court. And now you just take a look at this starting five with Tyrese, VJ, Jaylen, LeBron, Joel. That is 4 proven or potential high-level creators plus a former MVP at the center role. So now you got 3 MVPs. Well, technically, Jaylen won the MVP in the Eastern Conference and in the finals. But you take a look at these guys. I mean, Jaylen Brown gives them athletic two-way wing they've never consistently had next to Embiid. Maxey can push the pace. LeBron doesn't have to initiate every possession now. And then you also, like I said, LeBron can officially take over that point forward role, and Maxey and Brown can focus more heavily on that scoring. And then we take a look at Embiid too, where I think they should almost play him like what the Spurs did with Wemby. You play him just enough so he can hit that end of season award threshold, but keep him healthy enough that he can be ready for the playoffs. So I think this is an incredible move. And like you all said, this is, to me, the best opportunity for LeBron to win a championship. Now, if he wins one, he's going to be the first player in NBA history to win with 4 different teams. That is incredible. No player's ever done that before. And like you said, Rick, LeBron for me is number 2 on the GOAT list. But if he wins a championship in Philly, he's got to be number 1. So I love this move. LeBron made the right choice. And I am just so excited to see this next chapter in his career.
Yeah, you my GOAT meter, right? So Kareem has 6 rings and 6 MVPs, and it goes beyond that. Jordan has 6 rings, 5 MVPs. Bron has 4 rings, 4 MVPs, right? So you don't have to win another league MVP, but you can't be 2 rings short of Jordan and Kareem for me and be the GOAT. Okay, so get ring number 5 and I will change my rankings. And I've been saying that, as Dwight knows, heck, going back 7-8 years with Antonio Daniels on NBA radio. I set the bar when the Lakers won the bubble championship, I said, okay, no, he's not the GOAT. He's 1 ring away, and I've maintained that all these years later. All right, next question. And Ashley's right. Oh, it's a LeBron. It's LeBron-a-palooza in here, okay? Is Philly number 2 in the East with LeBron? Yes, they are. Here's my top 5. New York, clearly number 1. And then Boston, Indiana, Cleveland, and Philly. Like, I vomit as I put Cleveland in there, but I got to give them credit. They've been top 4 in the East like 3 years in a row. They are a talented team. So New York is 1, and then Boston, Indiana, Cleveland, Philly are going to battle for number 2, and Philly is going to win that. In the running for number 6, it's Detroit. Guys, I think Detroit's going, boo! Look at their roster. It's not exciting. So Detroit, Toronto, Atlanta, Orlando, Charlotte, all in the running for number 6, and then that'll be your play-in tournament. I got Miami. Yes, Miami with Giannis. Washington, sorry, Dwight. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Chicago in my bottom 5. So, yes, I do believe Philly is number 2 in the East with LeBron James. Dr. X, you're next. Is Philly the second best team in the East behind your beloved Knickerbockers?
I like that. I like that question, Rick, because a lot of those Vegas odds already have the Knicks second in the whole league, with the San Antonio Spurs being number 1. And I'm like, what does San Antonio do in the offseason to make them number 1? What, get 2 bodyguards for Wemby that are not going to play?
So I don't really understand
Tobias Harris too, Phil.
Tobias who? Tobias who? Tobias who-is? Nah, bro. I'm not. No one's scared of Tobias Harris. Going to Game 7
it doesn't
with
matter.
Orlando Magic.
Okay, go ahead. My fault.
It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. Yeah, just stop. Just learn from last year, cuz. Just learn from last year. Cade Cunningham. Don't make it about Tobias Harris. That's not cool. You should lean into. But honestly speaking, I hate the Vegas odds because you know what? It just adds fuel to the fire. The Knicks ultimately are just going to do better because of that. When, the back's against the wall, people are going to start forgetting about them. But yes, you got to look at Philly. Philly has the most complete roster on paper. Now, does it mesh? Because people were talking about, oh, Maxey's going to be like this in the playoffs, and he was outplayed. He didn't have a 40 ball. He was barely getting over 20 points. So with that roster, so just imagine now, with Jaylen Brown and LeBron James on the floor and a healthy Joel Embiid at times, where is Maxey going to have his shot to be Maxey that we think he can be? So I do think, though, they will be the second best team, but it's just ways to be seen how quickly they can get it together.
Mm-hmm. Ashley, is Philly number 2 in the East?
I mean, right now I say so, yes. But to Dr. X's point, we don't know if they're going to mesh. We've seen a lot of superstar talent come together, and it's a failed experiment, right? So we don't know. We can hope for the best. We could say with the talent they currently have right now, yes, who's beating them, right? I mean, Boston, to me, like, I don't know. I don't know if they really got any better. In my opinion, they didn't. I mean, you lost Jaylen Brown and you got Paul George in return. So to me, the Celtics are out. They're not number two. I think Philly easily number two right now. I mean, they're top three championship contenders in the entire league, if you're asking my opinion. So yes, I would say they're number two. I'm never going to say that the Knicks are not number one. They just won the championship. So I don't want to ruffle any feathers this early into the show. But, I'm going to say Knicks one, Philly two. But another point that I did want to make real quick is the fact that, we always talk about Joel Embiid's health, right? So if the Sixers manage his minutes well, even just having that starting five on that floor, Joel Embiid's not going to be having to handle so many double teams because you can't leave your man, right? You got five guys who are able to create their own shots and score. So I think like having LeBron and Jaylen Brown is going to alleviate some of that pressure from Joel Embiid. And I hope it all works out. But yes, the Sixers easily for me number two in the East.
Dwight, is it a continuation here? Are they easily number two in the East for you?
So I'll put it in this context. Before the announcement of LeBron going to the Sixers this morning, the Boston Celtics were second in the odds makers here in Vegas to finish second in the Eastern Conference. They were also ahead of all the teams in the East and several teams in the West to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and possibly beat the Knicks. But after the announcement this morning, now Vegas is flipped. The Thunder and the Spurs are at plus 270 as championship contenders. The Knicks and the Sixers are now tied at plus 900, with the Celtics falling to fifth. That just tells you how LeBron James, even at age 41, has swung the pendulum into the Sixers' direction. Now, the concerns are definitely going to be chemistry issues for the Sixers to begin with. There's definitely going to be a feeling out process because of all the players that are able to dribble, pass, and shoot in that starting five. But LeBron James, as we found out last season, whether he wanted to or not, fit into a third option role beautifully, which led the Lakers to a 15-2 month of March and had a lot of the pundits swinging in their direction in terms of possibly contending with an Oklahoma City Thunder and San Antonio Spurs squad. But the reason why we like the Sixers is because of the versatility, especially defensively, that LeBron can fit into. He's not going to be your primary defender, but LeBron James now is going to have to conform to playing defense or somewhat being competent, because if he doesn't with this group, he's really going to stick out like a sore thumb, and the Philadelphia 76ers fan base will definitely let him know about it. That's for sure. So as of right now, the Sixers are definitely the second best team in the Eastern Conference. You must give respect to the defending champion New York Knicks until they're beaten. There's nobody better than them. And even with Jalen Brunson, I'm on board with the saying, everybody is better than Jalen Brunson until it's time to be better than Jalen Brunson. So the Knicks have to be given their flowers, their respect, their due respect is, quite frankly, they are the best team in the East. But just on paper and how I think LeBron is going to lead the Sixers to this second place finish this season, his influence, his impact is going to be too great for the rest of that roster not to conform to his greatness and leadership. They will finish second in the Eastern Conference during the regular season.
Go ahead, Ashley.
One really quick, I wanted to also expand on that. I don't think we're going to be talking about. I am interested to see this dynamic, right, when we talk about chemistry. because we've been seeing, Jaylen Brown making comments about Bronny and then LeBron responding back. And Jaylen Brown's very outspoken and he's not afraid to speak his mind. So it's going to be very interesting to see that behind the scenes in the locker room at practice, like how are those personalities going to mesh? How are they going to fit together? And then also just all these rumors about LeBron saying that he didn't want to play alongside Joel Embiid. I don't know how true that is, but very interesting when all these little things get leaked. We don't know what's true and what's not. There's a lot of speculation right now. But I am interested to see this little dynamic between all of the players. I know LeBron and Maxey, they are both represented by Clutch, so I can see them being fine there. And I know they've trained together and have obviously spent a lot of off-season time together in the past. But when it comes to those particular two guys, Jaylen and Joel Embiid, with all the little rumors and things that we've seen and heard about, I'm just a little interested to see how the chemistry goes.
Well, Ashley, if I can interject, Rick, before you do here, I think it's pretty clear that he has spoken with those players because I don't think he blindsided anybody in the Sixers organization with this decision. I'm sure they spoke at some time last night, possibly going into this morning. So whatever beefs there may be between LeBron, Jaylen Brown, LeBron and Joel Embiid, I'm sure those have been squashed because at the end of the day, they're all professional athletes and their goal is to win a championship. If they all want to eat, they all want to win a championship, they now fully understand that the target, the bullseye, the fans, the media, whatever, who's going to be watching, the targets on them. They are going to be the most watched and spoken about roster this season. They will be on the most in terms of nationally televised broadcast. I think the most the team can have during the regular season is 36. They will have the full allotment of 36 games. They are going to be first and foremost on everybody's tongue in the basketball world. And I'm sure the Sixers are very much looking forward to it.
So I love it, man. Ashley, I'm glad you interjected there and Dwight as well, because Brandon Scoopy Robinson is coming on our show today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Scoop, is the guy that scooped LeBron not wanting to play with Embiid. You're welcome. All right. So he will be asked that. How was that vetted? How was that hurdle crossed by one of us? And I can't wait to have Scoop on about a half hour from now. Okay. There is a difference between all of us agreeing with Philly being number 2 in the East and are they legit title contenders? There's a difference. Okay. You could think, yeah, they're great on paper, or you could go all in with them. So that's the next question. And before we dive into that, I want to give a huge shout out to Beer Battered Gummy Shark, which is a phenomenal name. Homie's out in Australia. He's already been hitting us with all kinds of comments here. He says, "Good day, mates." Wait a minute. I put the mates in there. Good day from Australia, as they say. He says, Crumble Cookie Harris. Doc, what's your reaction to Crumble Cookie Harris?
I mean, he's a great player, but don't say that's going to put the odds in their favor. It's not. It's not going to put the odds in. The only thing that can put the odds in favor of Victor Wembanyama is if Victor makes that next leap offensively. We know defensively is going to be who he is, but can you close out games when you're up by 15 points and then continue to do that in a playoff series when it matters most?
Yes.
Can you finish at the mid-range when people are not giving you a three and they're not letting you just camp down low? You're not strong enough to camp down low anyway. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to hit your free throws when they're free? Things like that. So we just need to know what's going to happen. And obviously the other factor is Dylan Harper. Is he really going to be given the keys to the car? And is there going to be any politics with De'Aaron Fox? And then, the whole coaching stuff. Every time the Spurs have a lull in their defense or offense or just a win or loss column, are we going to be looking over at the assistant coach to see if Billy Donovan's going to be next up? I don't think it's going to be like that, but that's what the media is going to play to. I don't think he's there to make Mitch Johnson nervous. I think Popovich has more wisdom than that. But that's the things they're going to have to deal with.
All right. I love it. So is Philly a legit title contender with LeBron, or are they a paper tiger, Anthony Davis? I do believe, guys, that I do believe Philly is a legit amazingly, Luka didn't catch the stray right there. I do believe that Philly is a legit title contender. This is not just a paper tiger. I do think they need one more, like LeBaron Fillon is your backup point guard. Like, is that sturdy enough? He had some moments in the summer league. But I do love the Anthony Simons get. Dean Wade could come off my bench. I just don't want him starting. And I just don't really want to hear how great of a player he is based on numbers. That's my whole thing with Dean Wade. Good for the guy. Good for him. But analytically, he's the best bench player and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, look, you guys know that LeBron James, kind of like Jordan, right? Remember Jordan had the Breakfast Club back in the day. I mean, he'd be out all night partying and then up at like 6 a.m, lifting weights and working out. I mean, the guy was a maniac, okay? LeBron's the same guy, although I haven't really heard that he kicks it like that. You know what I mean? I know he likes his wine, but I don't think LeBron's the out till 5 a.m. guy like, I don't want anybody else to catch a stray. So his work ethic, his GOAT energy is going to vibe out Joel Embiid. I think Joel Embiid's been just drifting like just a boat lost at sea, with no motor. Like, I think now it's like click, it's going to click in for Joel Embiid. Okay. Lose weight, get into shape. No more of, I just don't feel like Joel Embiid's been all in for like 2 years. I think LeBron being there, guys, if Embiid could play 55 or 60 games, right? Obviously, who cares about the awards? But if he can play 55 to 60 games and then, be healthy for the playoffs, that's probably all they want. But Embiid playing 40 games ain't it. It's never going to be it. So I think LeBron's going to squeeze all the, pardon me, that was going to be a pause moment right there. I think LeBron's going to get the best out of Joel Embiid, and I will leave it at that. But one more point here. Philly is the only team in basketball with 4 number ones. Think about this. Joel Embiid, MVP, scoring title. What? Maxey is a number one. Okay, not on this team, but he's a number one. He's got that badass in him. Jaylen Brown showed us last year he's a number one, leading Boston to number 2 in the East. Miraculous. And then you have LeBron James, who isn't a number one anymore, but you know what? He still definitely could be. Definitely capable of it. We saw it in the playoffs, right? They have 4 number ones. Okay, so how are they going to vet that? How does chemistry, how do they gel and come together? Can't wait to watch how all that works. But this is not just a paper tiger. They are legit title contenders. And I'm going to hit you with one more zinger. I would put New York 1, Philly 2, San Antonio 3, OKC 4. Okay, and I know people, how could you have OKC at 4? Guys, they have lost Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. And you say, who cares? They're just bench players. Okay, their depth chart is completely different right now. OKC's margin for error has shrunk. All right, they're still a fantastic team. Definitely could win this championship. And I'm not hating on them at all. I just think it's New York, then Philly, then San An, and then OKC. And so let's go to Dr. X here next. Dr. X. So again, is Philly a paper tiger here or a legit title contender with Bron?
I think they're a legit title contender with LeBron James. I think their bench is probably just missing that backup center because I really want to know how their starting 5 will look without Joel Embiid in there. So I know they still have Bona.
Yep.
They
and
lost
your guy Huck Cordy. And your guy Huck Cordy went there.
From your Knicks, Phil, yep.
Yeah, they got Ariel Huck-Porty. But I think Huck-Porty was limited too. I didn't think he gave us much. He has a block here or there, but offensively, he's, there's a lot to be desired there. He might play better with better people on the floor, but I think also Bona does a lot of boneheaded moves. Like whenever he was out there against the Celtics in the playoffs, it was like a negative. Like they would be turnover city. And I think those moments when they have to start those 2 guys, it's not going to look good for the Sixers. I think, and then to to your point, Rick, I don't think they're going to be, or I think Dwight was saying, they're not going to be able to hide LeBron James as well with not a legit big. So I think they need to be in the market for a backup big that's legit. And I don't think Huck Porty is it. And I definitely know it's not Bona.
Great points. Completely agree. Dwight, go next here. Philly, a legit title contender with LeBron, or are they paper tigers?
I said at the top of the show, Rick, LeBron James is on your roster. You're a legitimate title contender, no matter what. That's the type of impact, the gravity that he brings to any roster. And I think Tyrese Maxey, for as great as he has been, and I want to say, there's a statistic out there. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody can go to their computer. LeBron James was number 2 in terms of fast break points as an individual. Was Tyrese Maxey number 1? I'm not sure who was ahead of LeBron James. That being said, Tyrese Maxey has the potential to be the Kyrie Irving to LeBron James in this lineup. But the thing is, it's a whole lot more speed coming from Tyrese Maxey. May not have the skill set that Kyrie Irving, who arguably may be the most skilled player that the NBA has ever seen. That's a conversation for another day. But just the mere fact that Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, and a young and upstart and willing to learn VJ Edgecombe are going to be your starting 5. How could you not be excited about that? And how could you not have them as legitimate title contenders? I'm not going to go as far as you, Rick, to say that they're better than Oklahoma City and San Antonio right now. But all they have to do, which is not easy, talking about the Sixers, is get to the finals. And all they have to do is face one of Oklahoma City or San Antonio. And the Thunder are going to be a lot better than you think. I will never sleep on a Thunder roster because they've got too many players in their stable to not compete. Yes, they're losing Isaiah Joe. Yes, they're losing Aaron Wiggins and most recently Luguentz Dort. But if you look at how they played during the playoffs, those 3 players, their minutes were reduced extremely during that playoff run, even with the players that were injured. So it's pretty clear that Sam Presti and the Thunder organization felt they were going to be okay without those 3 players. So right now, still, I don't have the Sixers ahead of the Thunder nor the Spurs, but they're definitely behind the Knicks for sure. But the Sixers, again, with LeBron James on their roster, undoubtedly are championship contenders.
Okay, couple things. I totally agree that OKC is going to be okay, right? And you're right about all 3 of those guys. And Lou Dort's even defensive impact is getting minimized a little bit. Like I said, their margin for error has shrunk now. They were ridiculously deep before. Now, if they suffer 2 injuries, now you're going to some guys that are huge question marks, whereas before you were not. LeBron James, according to AI, Dwight, okay, how reliable, I don't know. But LeBron James did lead the NBA in fast break points last year, according to AI. All right.
Okay.
I just did a quick search on that. All right, Ashley, you're up, man. Take as much time as you want. Are they a paper tiger or a legit title contender with Bron?
So also to expand on that, Tyrese was number 2. So
there you go.
There you go. Yep. Are they a contender? So I do want to say, until the Sixers can get to the finals, I'm not going to put them past the Spurs, OKC, or the Knicks. Even though I said they were a top 3 contender, I'll say they're a top 4.
Agreed.
Because again, we don't know how this is going to play out. We've seen all these super teams try to come together and they have failed. Okay. So, but again, LeBron automatically makes your team a contender. Now, I'm going to say that the Sixers have absolutely no more excuses. You got Maxey, Brown, LeBron, Embiid, and if they're all healthy and don't at least reach the Eastern Conference Finals, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem.
Agreed.
We're going to have a really good show. You cannot assemble that much talent and then blame chemistry or injuries for another early exit. There is no excuse. And especially with LeBron James, we don't know how much time he has left. 1, 2 years. Okay, maybe. He wants to win right now. This is why he chose Philly. He didn't choose Cleveland for the little nostalgia tour. Oh, I'm going back to where I started. I'm going back to my hometown. He went to the place where he felt that he can win a championship right now. So to me, this is championship or bust. Y'all better be championship contenders because there's no excuses. So for me, Philadelphia, for sure, a top 4 championship contender. If we're looking at everything right now, everyone healthy, right? This is assuming that OKC is going to be healthy. The Spurs, the Knicks, Philly, everyone healthy. Yes, they're top 4 for me. But I would still respect the Knicks, to me, defending champions. To me, they're number 1. Spurs are number 2. OKC number 3. Philly number 4.
Totally fair.
Rick. Rick. I want to hear what Dr. J has to say now about LeBron James. He's one of the most vocal old school players in the NBA who wasn't very appreciative for LeBron to be jumping to teams to win a championship. I want to hear him now. I want to hear him right now to see what he says about his success.
Arguably for me, like personally, if we're going like band for band here, right? Michael Jordan winning 6 championships with the same organization. Okay, I'm not going to say same team, but he had his Scottie Pippen, right? And they were together all 6 of those championships. And then obviously some movement around the roster, but you're with the same organization, okay? Impressive. But I think it's going to be even more impressive for LeBron James to go to 4 different organizations and win a championship. Like, no player has ever done that before.
That's why he did it, Ashley. That's why he did it. That's why he did it.
Yes, he did it to get that edge. Because what are you going to say now? And I'm still seeing people make comments like, "Oh, this is like the bubble championship. It's really not going to mean anything." Why? Why do we set these ridiculous standards for LeBron James? Because he still has to put in that work. He is still putting in that work at 41 years old. I'm so sick of these excuses. No one else has these excuses except LeBron James. Anytime he wins anything, there's always a but. It's never just accepting the fact that LeBron James is the best player that we've seen in the last 2 decades. I don't want to freaking hear it anymore. So to me, if he wins that 4th championship or the 5th championship with a 4th different organization, to me is going to be the most impressive. He's going to go down as the GOAT. But I'm just sick of all these people trying to move the goalposts, man. Like, just have some respect. And no one is going to, if you don't appreciate him now, I promise you're going to regret it once he retires.
One of the reasons, I'm growing my hair out right now, but one of the reasons I don't go to barbershops anymore is the devaluation of ring narrative.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. Oh, it's just a bubble ring. Or, Kawhi doesn't get full credit because he was only there 1 year. Or Kawhi doesn't get full credit because Clay and Durant were hurt. Or I got to take one of Curry's rings away because Love and Kyrie were hurt that year. It's bullcrap. It's a horrible narrative. It's a complete waste of time. It's like people saying to me, I think Emmitt Smith's the GOAT at running back in the NFL. Well, what if Barry Sanders had that offensive line? He didn't. He didn't. Why are we going back and putting Jerry Rice on the frickin' Kansas City Chiefs? He played with Joe Montana and Steve Young. Okay? Like, stop doing all that stuff. All right, I'm going off script here. I got to bring in Dr. X. I am dying to hear you talk about this right now, Dr. X. Okay? And this is not, if you guys want to chime in. This is not even a round the table thing. This is a Dr. X special right here. As a Knicks fan, as the second biggest Knicks fan to Spike Lee, let's put it that way. Even bigger than my boy Chalamet. All right? Do the Philadelphia 76ers have your attention, Dr. X? Are you looking like, ooh, wow, ooh, okay. The challenge to get a repeat just got a lot harder. Or are you not experiencing any of those vibrations?
I'm not experiencing any vibrations. I'm not scared of them. I'm just glad that he chose the right team because I feel like it gives him the best chance to win, and it's a less heavy lifting for him. And you actually might see a better version of LeBron James. And I just want to at that age and the way he's been playing last year, I like how he was able to adjust his role and play alongside Luka. Then eventually he deferred to AR, and he was playing really well. I liked what I saw from LeBron, so I felt like this Philly team fits him. But I'm not scared of them. I think ultimately I was shocked that Maxey didn't have a better series against the Knicks, and that right there made me know all I need to know about that because it's not going to be fixed with LeBron because LeBron his usage rate is going to be up. Then
Jalen
on
Brunson,
top of that.
Jalen
And
Brunson.
then on top of that, I'm talking, Dwight. I'm talking. And then on top of that, Jaylen Brown
Oh, too bad, man.
is another issue. Is another. Thanks, Jason. Good job. Yeah. So Jaylen Brown is another issue. Like we beat them with that really stacked Celtics squad where you had Drew Holiday and you had Kristaps Porzingis and Tatum at the peak of his powers. We beat that team, and then you also seen Jaylen Brown choke. Don't forget his Celtics were up 3-1. Joel Embiid had to even play the game until like I think it was game 3. And then they lost that, and then after that, they won all their games. So, what does that say about Jaylen Brown? Able to lead the troops and be a 1A. I think he's lacking, and the same thing about Maxey. There's certain issues with that where it came to Knicks. We swept them. The same thing with Joel Embiid. We kind of played him off the floor. He wasn't effective. So, all that said, I don't think LeBron James now is going to change that narrative. So I'm glad to see the matchup. Everybody will be tuned in. I hope it's either opening night or maybe even a Christmas Day game. But outside of that, hey, once the 7-game series comes, I'm not impressed by anybody. I'm more concerned about the Knicks. We are our own competition. Who are we adding in those last 2 spots? Is there a major trade that's going to happen that's going to give us some more depth in the bench or even a better starting lineup? And those are the moves we're looking to see. But ultimately, we have until trade deadline in February to see how that roster looks. And I think that we will get something that will make impact, just like we got Jose Alvarado at the deadline, and that definitely made an impact in Game 4. Where they had him out there in the starting unit or playing alongside Jalen Brunson as a smaller guard, and it actually made impact against a very defensive-minded team in the Spurs. So and just with Coach Brown, he's so creative. Whoever they're adding at this point, I know they're going to have impact because he's going to have a big decision on who is added at this point.
You may be saying, Rick, why aren't you talking right now? I fully anticipated Dwight Walton coming in off the top rope, Randy Macho Man Savage style. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No. All I have to say is this. All I have to say is this, Rick.
Cream soda,
and it's dirty too.
Is that a Lakers? Is that a Lakers ad?
No, you know what? I discovered that here. I discovered that flavor here in Vegas. Once I saw it, I'm like, I need to get it, and it tastes spectacular. I can tell you that. It's added to the Mountain Dew repertoire, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Dwight. A $7 soda should taste spectacular.
No. This one, no. This doesn't. No. I went to the local AM/PM right behind the pavilion. Not two for $5, man. I am not paying $9.99. I'm not paying $9.99 for a Mountain Dew ever again. I could tell you.
Did you walk? You walked over there, cuz?
Yeah, last night after the game. Yeah.
I got it. So I gotta do that because I'm tired of the $6.99 for just the regular size Diet Mountain Dew. Like $6.99, $7, man.
Rick, it's right behind the pavilion. Right behind it.
Yeah, I see the sign sticking up. All right, I got to run over there. Dwight, that's a hack. That's a Vegas hack you just gave me right there. I love it. All right, now let's move on to the teams that lost the LeBron sweepstakes. All right, let's flip. The turtle right now has its shell up. Okay, let's flip the turtle over and let's tickle his cute little tummy and okay. So now we're talking about the teams that lost the LeBron sweepstakes. All right. First question: how screwed are the Miami Heat? The Miami Heat. Okay, I'm going to say something. This is not a cuss word because I know you guys love this show. The Miami Heat are up Schitt's Creek without a paddle.
Awesome show, by the way.
So I did not just cuss right there. I did not. It's a show. All right. Miami is up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, without LeBron James. Okay. Remember when Pat Riley, they're introducing Giannis and he's like, I forget, we have one more plane to land or whatever he said, right? That plane was LeBron. Okay. And obviously he was there. Again, I love giving you this intel. And I see reporting on it, but what happened? A great source, very tied in with the Miami Heat organization, told me LeBron left the Heatles because he gave Pat Riley an ultimatum. It's me or Coach Spo. And Pat Riley said, get out of here. I'm sticking with my coach. I'm not letting a player tell me how to run my team because I got slick back hair and I'm a freaking gangster around here. Okay? With like 13 rings. Okay? You're not telling me how to run my team. That's literally why LeBron James left the Heatles. Okay? So maybe he could have gone back, but he's not. Now what? Okay? The Miami Heat have to get Russell Westbrook. They have to get Russell Westbrook. It's mandatory. And they have to get DeMar DeRozan. And I know they're old and they're future Hall of Famers and all this kind of stuff. Miami's bench is a problem, okay? Let me break this down for you. Starting lineup is Adebayo, Giannis, Wiggins, Tim Hardaway Jr., Davion Mitchell. If anybody is scared by that starting five, maybe you don't know hoops all that well, okay? Your bench. I mean, I'm serious. Your bench is Bobby Portis, Nikola Jovic, not Nikola Jokic, Nikola Jovic, the other guy, okay? Simone Fontecchio. It's going to be in their rotation. Pell Larson and Drew Smith. I promise you, 98% of our audience has no idea who Drew Smith is. And I'm not mad at you. Okay. Miami is super screwed. Guys, I stick by what I said. Miami is going to struggle to make the play-in tournament. Not the top six, the play-in tournament. Okay. And I do not believe that the Miami Heat are going to be a playoff team. They had to get LeBron James. And now, guys, the trade that the Miami Heat made, which I told them not to do. You cannot give up Khalil Ware in that deal. Hero, okay, whatever. They gave up Hawkins, all these picks. The young fella they drafted first round last year, they gave up way too much. It would have kind of like the puzzle pieces would have fit for me if you get LeBron, okay? It was like, it had to be like a combo platter. You just got Giannis, okay? So they are up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Let's go to Ashley here next. How screwed are the Miami Heat, or are they screwed?
Well, you guys always like what I have to say about them being booty cheeks, straight booty cheeks, guys. Embarrassing. Listen, we could talk about Pat Riley's accolades all we want, but he's lost a pep in his step. Because every year it's, Miami's the landing spot for this guy. Miami's the landing spot for this guy. And they never get it done. Yep. And think about this. Miami is a beautiful place to live. It is summer, year round. Restaurants galore, clubs, so much to do, even though Pat has eyes and ears everywhere and kind of, to me, does. Yeah, and that's another thing that I think that scares guys away because they want to be able to go somewhere in peace and not have to deal with Pat breathing down their necks. So to me, Pat Riley, he's failed over the last couple of years in being able to be a landing spot for superstar talent. And listen, again, I'm not going to take away everything that this man has built, all of his championships. He's done a great job, but I think his time with the Miami Heat is probably coming to an end soon. Because if you weren't able to land LeBron, all these other superstar talent over the last couple of years, it's embarrassing. Again, you're the Miami Heat. This should be a big destination spot, not to mention taxes. not to mention taxes. So not only do you have a beautiful place to live, restaurants, clubs, all the things, you have beaches, but also you're not paying all that income tax. So that right there should be a no-brainer for athletes to want to go and play, at least for LeBron to go back there and finish his career, a place that he's already been, he's already familiar with, probably has a home in Miami. They failed. They failed. And to your point, when you take a look at this roster, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah.
You know, you thought you got rid of your entire team because you thought deep down, if we get Giannis, we're going to get LeBron. But that's not the case. So Pat Riley, to me, you've lost a pep in your step. You are no longer that gangster we thought you were. And I think it's time to hang it up, man. I think you only got maybe a couple years left, but I think it's time to go.
Ooh, boy, that hurts. I'm such a Pat Riley fan. All right, Dr. X, I have a question for you. Okay, so you see the hair here, right? Slick back. I get it. So I get it really wet. All right. And then I get like 4 gobs of this stuff and I go like this and the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to play the hair game here for a minute. Put Pat Riley back up for a minute, fellas.
You got him beat, Rick. It's okay.
But okay. So look at Pat Riley. All right. It doesn't even look like he has hair gel in his hair. Right? Look, it's like kind of soft looking and glossy.
Yeah.
Like how, Pat Riley, you freaking gangster, does your hair go back like that and stay like that? Does he use hair? Guys, is that hairspray? I don't know. Or is he just that goated with the hair that he just like, does he talk to his hair? Does he just say, yo, hair, do what I want it to do? And it does. Because I gotta put half a stick of butter in my dang hair to get it to lay down like this. So what's the deal there, Doc?
I think he trained his fibers over time and you know, the curl pattern, you know, it gets easier as you get older. And I think, as you said, it's been goated. It's been goated.
So his hair knows where to go right now. It's almost trained like a dog, right? You will lay down and be perfectly flat. And dude, this guy could drive around in a convertible on South Beach and his hair wouldn't even move. You guys already know that. He's that cool. All right, so let's go to we've all talked about this, right? I didn't forget anybody.
No,
Dwight and I didn't talk about it.
Okay, all right, Dr. X. Sorry, I got distracted by the hair game.
No, it's all right. It's all good.
We got Brandon Scoopy Robinson joining us in a couple of minutes. Doc, how screwed are the Miami Heat without LeBron?
Honestly, they're really, like most people were saying before they even got any more people. We were saying they were the South Beach Bucks. So they are literally the South Beach Bucks, because I think when you look at Miles Turner and how he played with Giannis last year, it didn't really make a splash, right? You know, at first we're like, okay, he got some, you know, front court depth and he can block shots. He's not a great rebounder. He can also stretch the floor and hit threes. So Bam is going to be doing the same thing. And how did that record look? Not great, right? So it's the South Beach Bucks. Even when Bam was playing with some competition, he had some people like Norman Powell there. They were always in the play-in tournament and almost barely getting kicked out. And last year they were kicked out. So I don't see how Giannis is going to have a better roster around him than he did with the Bucks. I think it's an equivalent roster. You still have Bobby Portis. You still a couple shooters around you, like Tim Hardaway is now the new Gary Trent. You know, Wiggins is like Kyle Kuzma on a good day. You know, I mean, there's certain things that, you know, I think the guards were better on the Bucks. You had Rollins and Porter Jr. Those guys were more dog-like. I mean, I know they got David Mitchell is a really good defensive guard, but I feel like those guards in the Bucks were better offensively. And you know, they have a good roster, but it doesn't scream like it's different than the Bucks. So I'm just going to call them the South Beach Bucks until they prove otherwise.
So Dwight, you love this show. Is Miami up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, without LeBron James?
You know what? I'm gonna give the Miami Heat more respect. Are they screwed because LeBron didn't choose them? Absolutely, they're screwed. But I just think Eric Spoelstra and the style of play that he's going to implement, he is going to try to put the roster into the best possible positions to succeed because of all the talk. It's amazing how when people are doubted, when they're basically written off, players tend to rise to the occasion, and so do coaches. And I think Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley and Andy Ellsberg, the GM, they all hear how the Heat are going to be up Schitt's Creek, right? So I think they're going to rise to the occasion. They'll be a lot better. They're not going to be better than the top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference, but they'll be in the mix. I think they're a borderline playoff team, and to be in the top 6. Again, this is all predicated on the health of Giannis Antetokounmpo. When healthy, and that's been a big if over the past 5 seasons since winning the championship with Milwaukee in 2021. But if healthy and motivated, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a 32-12 player in the NBA and will put himself in the MVP conversation. You guys talk about Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan being added to this roster, and that's fine. But the player I'm interested, and I think a lot of teams are going to have interest in this player. Where is he in his rehab? That player is Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal would fit perfectly in with the Miami Heat. I think he would fit perfectly in with some contenders out there, even the aforementioned Philadelphia 76ers. Again, where is he in his rehab? Bradley Beal will sign with somebody over the next week to a month. He will. Again, of course, he's totally off the map. He fractured his hip 6 games into the season with the LA Clippers last year. It didn't work out in Phoenix, so he is definitely an afterthought. But if I'm a team looking for a player that's a much better shooter from distance than DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook, it's Bradley Beal's agent, Mark Bartelstein, that I'm calling. So it remains to be seen from that regard, but just it could be in the bowels of your brain about Bradley Beal, but he's a name that I think you should listen out and look out for in terms of signing with a contender.
Well, if the Miami Heat's chances of getting off the up Schitt's Creek list come down to Bradley Beal, then we're going to turn that word I just said into an actual cuss word and not the title of a show. Because I want to make something clear. Like it would be the full-on cuss word and all the bad stuff. Okay. Bradley Beal, games played 6. Played 6 little games last year. Year before he played 53. The year before he played 53. The year before he played 50. The year before he played 40. The year before he played 60. Ooh, wow. And the year before he played 57. Okay, that is 7 years of bad attendance. Paul George is looking at Bradley Beal and going, what the hell, dude? Paul George is saying that, not DeMar DeRozan, who plays every game, or Mikal Bridges, who plays every game. Paul George is looking at Bradley Beal like, bro, get your act together. 6 games. And as we know, Paul George is one of the great game missers in the NBA. All right, we are awaiting Brandon Scoopy Robinson to join the proceedings, and until he does, we push on. Okay, it is time. Dwight Walton, clear out your ears so you can hear this just a little bit better, because your boy Cam, your boy Cam is about to go off on the Golden State Warriors, and your boy Rick Celebrini, okay, who is the actual coach of the Golden State Warriors. The question this time is Golden State dead in the water? You guys, the Golden State Warrior, I don't know if you've seen this. It's Shark Week, okay? Big deal. What is it, the Discovery Channel or whatever? The Golden State Warriors are shark chum. That's all they are. They're shark chum, okay? They're going to be devoured by a huge shark, okay? This is a bottom 5 rotting carcass of a team, okay? They are butt rotten, okay? That's how bad they are. Curry is Kobe at the end. Steph Curry, please, for the love of Naismith. By the way, did you guys know Curry has 1 year left on his deal? 1. Stephen Curry, will you please ask for a trade? Please. Don't go out like Kobe, bro. Draymond Green is washed. We've covered this. Butler, Moody injured. Porzingis plays half the year. But he also is looking at Bradley Beal like, brah, get your ish together, okay? We all love Yaxel Lendeborg, maybe not as much as Dwight, but he is not a savior, okay? And by the way, I am so here for the Yaxel Draymond beef. I'm super here for that. I want them in an MMA cage, and I want to see this play out because, of course, Draymond Green's a fake tough guy, okay? I don't think Yaxel Lendeborg's a fake tough guy. I got Yaxel in that fight. I do. I got Yaxel because Draymond Green bullies Colin Gillespie, okay? This dude right here ain't bullying Colin Gillespie. He's picking on guys his own size, okay? And Draymond Green says he wants the smoke. He doesn't want the smoke. He's hold me back. Hold me back. He's that guy, okay? Yaxel Lendeborg wants the smoke. He's already coming at Draymond's head, okay? By the way, Draymond's a free agent, okay? Huge, colossal error by Draymond Green to decline his $27 million option. Draymond, I thought you were a businessman. I thought you were smarter than that. He got more bamboozled by LeBron than Pat Riley did. Okay, think about why did Draymond Green decline the option? So the Golden State Warriors could go sign LeBron James. So wing and a miss. Now what, Draymond? And if I'm Joe Lacob, I'm like, I got you. I got you. I'll bring you back at the veteran minimum. Other than that, you're washed, bro. Okay, so I can't wait to see how that plays out. Scoopy Robinson's on his way. And I got one last thing, and Dwight, this is the part right here. Bob Myers just kicked Steve Kerr's butt.
100%.
Bob Myers 100%. Just kicked Steve Kerr's butt. All right, 100%. Let's go back. Why did Bob Myers leave the Golden State Warriors? We still don't know. That's where your boy Cam comes in. Bob Myers left the Golden State Warriors in the middle of their dynasty because of a power struggle with Steve Kerr. I will die on this hill. Bob Myers drafts James Wiseman, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga. Did Steve Kerr comply with the plan to play them and develop them? Of course he did not. Okay? I promise you that pissed off Bob Myers. Okay? I'm drafting these guys. They're good players. You refuse to play them. And by the way, also the frustration of Draymond and vetting all of the punching pool and all. I promise you Bob Myers is like, eye rolling like, I'm so over this guy. I got to get out of here. I'm power struggling with Steve Kerr. No matter what I say, Draymond won't listen. The owner, Joe Lacob, has picked Steve Kerr over me. I'm out of here. Okay, that's why Bob Myers left the Golden State Warriors. And now all these years later, Bob Myers like, boom, 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 boom. How's that feel, Steve Kerr? And I freaking love it. All right, that's it. That's my soliloquy. Brandon Scoopy Robinson's almost ready here. Dwight, give me a quick follow on that before we bring Scoop on. Because like I said, we've talked a lot about this, man. So do you have any comments on that?
No, I was going to bring up the Bob Myers side of things as well, how he left the Warriors because of the power struggle, goes to Philadelphia.
So you agree with me on that? So you agree with me on that?
1,000%, 100%, yeah. Yeah, goes on Max Kellerman and Rich Paul's podcast, basically puts out a pitch, an ad. I don't want to say he begged, but he basically he did his recruiting pitch on the podcast, and ultimately it worked. So, and I will feel bad for the fans in the Bay Area because now Steph Curry is left dead in the water. It's not just the Warriors. It's Steph Curry. And I said this at the early part of our podcast. I forget when it was, whether it was in November, December, or January. If Steph Curry demands a trade, there's only one team he should ask to be traded to. Now, they made their major trade over the last month, talking about LaMelo Ball going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steph Curry should ask for a trade to the Charlotte Hornets. His father just had his number retired there. His father is the color analyst beside our boy Eric. I forget his last name now. I think
Collins.
he's Eric Collins, who I think those two are one of the more must-see TV broadcast pairings on NBA League Pass. Eric Collins and Del Curry. Steph Curry should ask for a trade to the Charlotte Hornets because now his last years with the Warriors, unless they make a major splash, are not going to be very successful in a very congested and competitive Western Conference. You're waiting for Jimmy Butler to get back at the trade deadline. Good luck with that. Good luck, Steph Curry. Good luck, Steve Kerr. Good luck, Mike Dunleavy Jr. And most importantly, good luck, Rick Celebrini.
I would love to have a conversation with Antonio Daniels, who thought I was insane when I started the Steph Curry needs to ask out a Golden State thing like 5 or 6 years ago. He thought I had lost my mind. I'd love to hear from him now on that. We will now hear from the great Brandon Scoop B. Robinson. Let's bring in Scoop right now to Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Scoop-a-loop, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Well, we are in this LeBron-a-palooza of a show. So, Scoop, I'm going to start with this. I got one question, and then we'll go around the horn. How did the LeBron news hit you? Shock, awe, surprise, shocked? Did it become your expectation? Talk to us.
It was my expectation because it was down to two teams. It was the Cleveland Cavaliers as well as the Philadelphia 76ers, and there are two things that stood out. One, the Northeast Ohio connection. Not sure if you guys are aware, but in the year of 2001, LeBron James was the #1 high school basketball player in the state of Ohio. Number 2 was Mike Gansey, who is the president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers and was the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers and was part of that organization in a front office role when the Cavs won the 2016 NBA Finals that LeBron James was a part of. From every indication that I've gotten, and I've written it over at scoopy.com in the blog section, it was down to Philadelphia and Cleveland. The issue with Philadelphia, from what I'm told, is that LeBron had some questions about the health and the durability of Joel Embiid throughout the course of a regular season. And it seems that throughout that process, no pun intended, both Joel and LeBron did have a conversation just about that durability and what the team would look like. Cleveland, the issue behind the scenes was the fact that there was a spacing issue and a concern about James Harden, and the fact that behind closed doors, Cleveland was a little strapped in what they could do in bringing in additional talent to fortify that roster with LeBron coming home. And from my understanding, many people thought that a homecoming of sorts for Cleveland came down to, this would be LeBron's last year. And then, ultimately, this is, I guess, a last hurrah. From my thought process and just the way that the contract was signed, we could potentially have another conversation, depending on the finality of the way that contract is structured next season. Is it a deal where he has an opt-out at the end of that second-year deal, and then he can go back to the drawing table and he closes it out as a Cavalier, or does he, finish his career as a 76er and that's it? So I think many people had this foregone conclusion that this was LeBron's last year. And when you look at what Philly did in the offseason and bringing in, Jaylen Brown, who's hungry, who has something to prove after the way things ended in Boston. And then you look at the fact that Tyrese Maxey is also another clutch client and friends, seemingly with LeBron James and Rich Paul. This is what it came down to. So, no, it wasn't a surprise. I never looked at the Golden State Warriors as an option because behind closed doors, Golden State really didn't know what was going on. I was getting calls where they were trying to even figure out the connectivity of what LeBron had to Cleveland outside of being from Akron in the Northeast Ohio area. They were kind of left in the dark. And, so no, it wasn't a surprise that Philadelphia ended up being, the champion because Cleveland wasn't able to kind of give what LeBron and Rich Paul wanted behind the scenes.
Dr. X, come on in here with the great Scoop B.
Scoop, what's good? My question to you is, What do you think happened with Miami?
I never really thought that they were an equation, and really it had more to do with the fact that they were so top heavy. Anytime you're playing alongside of a LeBron James, you need shooters. Every championship that LeBron has won, you look at even appearing in the finals in 2007, you had Larry Hughes, you had Donyell Marshall. You look at the bubble championship Lakers team, you had Danny Green, you had J.R. Smith, you had guys like that. In Miami, you brought in Shane Battier, you brought in Ray Allen, even Chris Bosh as a five-man could shoot. When you play with LeBron, you need shooters. Yes, you brought in Giannis. Yes, you had Bam Adebayo. But where's the, like, you got the bread and you got the beef patty. Sorry if there are any vegans here, but special sauce. You need sesame seeds on the bun. You need all of those other fixings. You need special sauce. And Miami was kind of missing that special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on the sesame seed bun. McDonald's
There you go.
but I think at the end of the day, Miami looks good on paper, but they still gotta put it together in a way that LeBron is still on that timeline. So Miami never really tickled my fancy that way. And also, you have familiarity. You're trying to create a documentary, and Pat Riley wouldn't even let you eat your cookies on the plane. You think he's gonna let a taping crew in his locker room? Hell no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dwight, come on in here, man.
What's going on, Scoop?
Good brother, what's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Listen, we all heard about the list. It was Miami. It was Cleveland. It was Philadelphia. Some people threw Denver and Minnesota into the mix. All places that needed a power forward or a leader of LeBron James's quality. My question to you is, how realistic were the San Antonio Spurs in this equation? I thought they had a chance. I want to know, were they a realistic option for LeBron James?
I talked to San Antonio, and there was no interest in them bringing in Tobias Harris. Kind of fortified that level of a veteran in that locker room. I can even go back to last summer, prior to the NBA draft, when Dylan Harper met with the San Antonio Spurs. I can tell you that there was conversations, if you remember, about the notion of Kevin Durant coming to San Antonio. And Dylan Harper did a private workout with the San Antonio Spurs at our high school alma mater, Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey. And he was the only first-round pick the first rounder that the Spurs worked out. And the Spurs assured Dylan Harper specifically that the team was looking to build around him, Stephon Castle, and Victor Wembanyama, and they were not looking to bring in Kevin Durant via trade. If you remember that they had, I believe it was the 2nd and the 14th pick, I think it was. I know for sure it was the 2nd by Harper.
Yes.
And they assured Harper that they were not going to trade those picks and that they wanted him. So if I'm to use that same logic from last summer to now, when I'm not comparing LeBron and I'm not comparing KD, but I'm just talking about their magnitude and their level of magneticness, if that's a word, that they would bring to an organization, I'm going to use that same logic here. I never really saw San Antonio as an option, and I fact-checked it, further up. And they had no interest in bringing him in from conversations that I did have as late as last Sunday.
Wow, very interesting. Great question, Dwight. Ashley, come on in here.
Hey, Ash, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I can't.
What's going on, Ash?
I don't know why. I wasn't muted or anything. That's so weird. How are you? I know you're probably exhausted. There's a lot going on.
It is. But talk to me. I got time for you.
Awesome. Awesome. I love to hear it. I love to hear. I mean, for how long I've known you, you got to give me a couple minutes of your time here. So I have a couple questions. One, are the Philadelphia 76ers done making moves, or is there some other potential plays in the mix here? And number two, did they promise anything in particular to LeBron James to get him to take such a large pay cut?
So I don't know if you're hinting, or if the viewers want to know if Bronny is a package deal. But
No.
what I no, but what I will say is that I haven't got any indication that that is the case. But what I am paying attention to specifically with the Los Angeles Lakers is their 16-man roster, and you have to trim it down to 15. And will they shed that with Bronny or with Laravia? That is something that I am paying attention to, because you wonder if Bronny is going to go at it alone in Los Angeles without his dad, which I actually think is a good thing, because I think his dad brought him to that point. One thing you'll learn about LeBron is he puts his people on, and he's not giving him a dime. He's going to find him a job, right? So when I look at that situation, that's something I'm paying attention to. But from every indication that I've gotten, literally from across the spectrum of LeBron over the last month, is that he wants to be in a position where he can participate and win. And come April, there is an opportunity to win a championship. There's an opportunity to be successful. So there are a lot of golf courses in the Philadelphia area. I'm actually in Alumni, Eastern University, on the main line, which is the suburbs of Philadelphia. And a lot of my classmates who were on the golf team at Eastern have given me a list of golf. There's no short of golf courses out there, but you can't play in the wintertime. But I guess the springtime is when it really counts. And hopefully he'll be playing golf and after winning a championship, because they'll definitely be in the conversation with a roster that is as is. And not to delineate from your question, I have not heard anything to suggest that they've promised LeBron anything. But I do know that Savannah James, as well as Zuri, LeBron's daughter, were huge parts of helping LeBron make his decision, because it's the three of them in the house. So that's what I have.
And Philly's not making more moves in terms of we've been nothing. So because we kind of heard like Joel Embiid might be on the trade block potentially.
So to go back to my reporting from a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that LeBron did have, more specifically about Joel Embiid, that he did have questions about was the health of Joel Embiid, and that he was wondering if he will be there for the stretch. And one of the things that Philadelphia did this offseason is that they did add Dean Wade, who did have quite of a good relationship with Mike Gansky during his time in Cleveland. They also brought in Ariel Hukporti, who is an NBA champion, who was the backup to the backup in New York. So they fortified that. I'm using the word fortified a lot, but they've added length and they've added depth to their depth chart in creating that security blanket in the case that Joel Embiid is not as available. But I think with that team as is, with adding Jaylen Brown, with having VJ Edgecombe, which is probably one of the most coveted young guys on a cheap scale contract because he's on a rookie contract. But the thing that I am concerned about is with LeBron coming in and with Jaylen Brown coming in, how much durability and how much will this affect VJ Edgecombe in a good way, or will his numbers go down because LeBron and Jaylen Brown are coming in? That's something I'm concerned about. But more specifically about what was promised, I have nothing at this time to suggest that he was promised anything. But I do think that the additions of Hukporti as well as Dean Wade do help Philadelphia quite a bit and spell Joel Embiid in key minutes when he may not be available.
Brandon Scoop B. Robinson hanging out with the guys and girls here on Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Scoop, we still have to get Doc and Ashley to weigh in on this, okay? We're mid-segment on our show. The question that we're on right now, are the Golden State Warriors up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, without LeBron James? Okay. And so you can take a bite out of that if you want, but here's what I want to bounce off of you. Going back to my days with Antonio Daniels on Sirius XM NBA radio, probably about 5 years ago, I started beating the drum of Steph's got to go to Lake Up and ask out. Otherwise, at the end of his career is going to be just like Kobe Bryant. He's going to be with this. Pardon me?
I know where you're going with this.
Okay, so I and it's not like This is a new opinion I've had. I've literally been screaming about this for 5 years. Steph Curry, don't go out like Kobe, where there was no what's at stake. It was just about box office and selling jerseys and filling Staples Center and what stats he would have. And you're going to watch an absolute goated legend, right? And,
Right.
oh, by the way, the Lakers are in 9th place in the West or 10th place or whatever it was, right? I hated seeing Kobe go out with not a lot to compete for. That's where Curry is right now, literally in the same exact spot. So I told Dwight I would love to give Antonio a huge I told you so, because here we are, and now more people are talking about this. Do you think it's time for Steph Curry to go to Joe Lacob and obviously diplomatically and politely say, get me the F out of here?
If you guys remember, maybe a couple of episodes ago, I actually suggested it. A return home to Charlotte would make the most sense in the world. I heard you guys talk about.
Thank you, Scoop. Keep it going.
I spent significant time in Charlotte over the last couple of seasons, and his reception in Charlotte is magical. His dad, they just retired his jersey. I feel like that was a great overture because you brought him into the Hornets fold, sitting courtside with his brother, as well as just that connectivity. I'll share with you. J.R. Reed, former Charlotte Hornet, is I've known J.R. since I was 12 when he played in the NBA, and he used to tell me stories about how Steph would sit on the team plane. And they would put him in the front of the plane, and he would sing TV theme songs, and he would dance like Urkel. He would do all the different things. Kendall Gill has corroborated that story as well. That connectivity would come full circle. But I'll be honest with you. Charlotte wasn't the only city that he called home. The Toronto Raptors was also another team that Dad's stint with the Toronto Raptors as well. I think Charlotte would make sense if he were to request a trade, but Toronto wouldn't be a bad look either. He'd win in the team light skin department as Drake is the light skin resident in house in Toronto. So I think he'd have some support there, but I think the High Yellow Committee would approve of that. But I do think Charlotte would make the most sense, if you will. But Toronto is something to pay attention to as well. I like him in Toronto.
Dr. X, Dwight Ashley, do you guys have another question for Scoop?
Scoop, which office are you running for, man? I'm liking the tie. Whatever office you're running for, I'm voting for you.
I'm going on as an independent though, so I got to switch to a purple tie.
There you go. That's cool. I'm hip. I'm good. Yeah.
I'm not blue.
I'm hip.
Yeah.
I love that, Scoop. I love that. I love that. Great question.
Yo,
right,
Scoop.
Yeah, Dwight, go ahead.
Scoop. I brought his name up earlier. I got the frowned upon looks from my panelists here. Speak on Bradley Beal, please. Where is he in his rehab? Is he a realistic option for any of the teams across the NBA? I heard an interview on NBA radio last week with, I believe, his agent, Mark Bartelstein, that he looks great. He's wrapping up his 5-on-5 ability. He's in tremendous shape. Is he an option for any team out there? We've heard Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan. Is Bradley Beal on the tip of any GM's tongue right now in terms of an option?
I haven't heard his name in the tip of any GM's tongue, but I will say that the likely suspects would be Miami. And I want to be very specific in saying this. I had a conversation with an agent yesterday that was their client was actually being held up, not at gunpoint, but being held up by LeBron's ultimate decision of where he was going to go. And that agent said to me that there are about 10 players that were basically in that traffic jam. And they said to me, literally, you call Cleveland, we can't do anything until LeBron figures out what he's going to do. You call Minnesota, we can't do anything until we figure out what LeBron's going to do. And he said to me, 10 people. And now that agent that I spoke with, he called me today and he goes, now I can figure out what it is that this person's going to do next. And this is a high profile client that now has his pick of the litter because LeBron went to a damn team. I mean, it wasn't just affecting stars. It was affecting two-way guys. It was affecting guys on the Russell Westbrook level. It was affecting guys on the Bradley Beal. Like, the LeBron James situation had a residual effect around other people. So I think now that traffic jam is somewhat cleared and it's no more rubbernecking, you're now looking at the Bradley Beals to kind of fix the roster. And I actually think that the Bradley Beal situation is similar. I won't say mirrors. It's similar to what Dallas and Klay Thompson are going to have to figure out, because many people thought that if LeBron was going to Miami, and I talked about the shooter aspect, that if LeBron was going to Miami, that would mean that both he and Klay were a package deal. And you would think the same thing about the Golden State Warriors, right? So I feel like, is he going to get bought out or is he going to get traded? To me, coming back home to Golden State on the Klay side would make sense if he's bought out to come back home. But at this point, what are you playing for? If I'm Klay, I'm looking to find a way to get on a more competing team because Dallas ain't it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Scoop, I have a quick question real quick. In terms of the Knicks, now that the traffic jam is over, is it true that the Knicks have like two veteran? Huh? You said what?
Traffic never over back home in New York. Come on now.
Exactly. But is it true the Knicks have two veteran minimums? And who do you think would be likely to fill those roster spots? And secondly, is there a trade on the horizon before February that could drastically change the Knicks roster?
I haven't heard anything as far as who the Knicks could bring in, and this is just fellow New Yorker to fellow New Yorker. I feel like this. I looked at that championship this year as the one. I don't think we're gonna have to wait another many years for that, but I feel like this was the one. I think the Eastern Conference has just gotten so much more competitive. I wonder if there's a move that would allow the Knicks to repeat. I'm curious. I have not heard anything as far as a move that would make sense. I look at the Knicks and I look at the 2 or the 3 position. Like, you could always use more wings, but I also look at the signing of Andre Drummond. I personally feel like them losing their backup centers and bringing in Drummond, I feel like Drummond can't do what the other guys can do. And I feel like they're still going to need another 4 or 5 man at that position more than they would need another wing.
What about the name Khalil Ware? I heard that thrown around.
I haven't heard his name. I heard his name associated with it. When I get off this call with you, I will make a call, though.
Oh, I like it.
One of the top reporters. One of the top reporters in the biz. Scoop, I got one more for you, and then if anybody else has any last questions, they can jump in here. It is very, very well established how close you are to Kyrie, his family, his inner circle. So what's going on with Kyrie? Is Dallas going to give this a run with Flag and PJ Washington? They have an interesting roster. Am I dreaming big? No, but they've got some interesting pieces. They just traded for Reece Sachet, who's a gigantic Anthony Bennett-esque bust, is what it is. But is Kyrie going to ride this out this year with Dallas? And you've been reporting on, maybe Cleveland and maybe a reunion with Luka in LA. What's going on with Kyrie?
So from every indication that I've gotten on the Kyrie side, he is happy in Dallas. His family's out there, and he's been rehabbing. Kyrie's been all over the country this summer promoting Anta and his new shoe. Every indication I've gotten on that side is that he's comfortable, and this is more what I've heard coupled with how I interpret it. I think that gives him a longer leash, being in a situation where he's next to Cooper, a guy that's also a dookie just like him. and he's able to grow. Most of these guys that are coming into the league now, they're more in tune with Kyrie than maybe even LeBron at this point. Like I feel like when you look at Kyrie and you look at Russell Westbrook and you look at Ja Morant, their aura connects with today's generation. It's kind of like we assume at the age we are now that all of these young kids like Jay-Z, when in actuality, many of them were actually influenced by 50 Cent as much as they were Lil Wayne and Soulja Boy. I think he kind of has that 50 Cent, Lil Wayne and Soulja Boy effect rather than people just assuming that Jay-Z was their inspiration. And I actually think that him playing that big brother role in Dallas suits them for now. But I do think that sounds good in the month of July, and we're almost in August. I think as you creep up on January and February and you start looking at the trading deadline and you look to see where Dallas is, I think because he's in such good standing with Dallas, I think if there is an opportunity that presents itself, I think that the Dallas Mavericks will go to Kyrie and work with him if he wants to trade. I do know that the Detroit Pistons have been heavy on Kyrie Irving going back to once the finals ended. And I know that's a team you may want to continue to pay attention to, especially as the Pistons are figuring out what happens with Jaylen Duren.
Very interesting. Hey, Scoop, Beer Battered Gummy Shark is asking you a question. Does Kyrie intend to play for the Australian Boomers at the LA Olympics in 2028?
I have not spoken to Kyrie or anyone close to him about it. That is another thing on my list that I have to do. I have to find out about Khalil Ware, and I have to find out about the Australian team. I don't necessarily see a world where he's playing for Team USA, so why not play for Australia? He was born there and he grew up in West Orange, New Jersey. So if Australia is looking for a representative on that level, I think Kyrie should take it. Luke Longley would be proud.
I could expound on that. Being the international guru that I am.
Well done.
Okay. So here, thank you. So here's the question to you, Scoop. When was the last time Kyrie played for the United States or represented the U.S.? Because there has to be a 5-year penalty period. You just can't jump countries. So the
2014, I believe.
Was it 2014?
It was 2014 or 2012, one of the two.
So if it's been that long, Kyrie is definitely eligible to play for Australia going forward in any international competition. So if that is the case, if it is that long ago, Kyrie is more than eligible to go play for Australia. No question.
AI says it was 2016 in Rio.
Oh, so okay, so he's good.
Yeah.
I was thinking of 2012 or 2014, whenever that Bobby Shmurda song was out, and when they won the gold
There
medal.
you go. Yep.
It was after that. 2016 would make sense then in Rio.
So
Also,
I have a
Go ahead, Ash. Go ahead.
I have a very reporter question for you. You know, an ESPN type question, and I know it's always going to make people mad. But I got to ask this. There's kind of two here. One, who's the number one option now on the Sixers? And two, whose hands do you want the ball in when the game is on the line down the stretch?
So ask me the first question. Whose team is it?
Yes.
Tyrese Maxey.
Interesting. Okay. And number two, who do you want to close out the game?
Jaylen Brown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm feeling it.
What about you?
I'm still going to say it's Joel Embiid's team.
Oh, no.
Yes. And then closing out the game, ooh. I'm going to take LeBron James.
Okay. I think this is that line of questioning, nobody uses at all.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. I usually hate asking those questions because it's just so
Right.
like, oh, whose team is it?
Right.
But like, sometimes I like to spice things up a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
You
stirring
never
up
know
pot.
when you could get a little bit of a quote there that can
Yeah.
go viral. You never know.
you and I love to go against the grain, so we're aligned, and that's not a bad thing at all. I mean that respectfully.
Yeah.
And as far as Joel Embiid, the one thing I can say is that I think Tyrese Maxey over the last couple years, when Joel Embiid has not been available to play, Tyrese Maxey has. I grew up in the Black Baptist Church, so I can he took it up another octave. You know,
Uh-huh.
required
Yeah.
and I think that baton, even if it's not directly Tyrese Maxey's team, I'll say that if they're Olympic runners, they're sharing the baton as a team between Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. I think they're secure enough in who they are that they know their role with that respective team, and there's no quarrel. And I really feel like a couple of years ago when the Sixers played the New York Knicks, the Sixers at that time in the playoffs, I think it was 24. Like they were playing like a number one seeded team, and were definitely playing beneath their privilege. And that was that. I think it was the first round. They definitely exceeded expectations, and it was the most watched playoff game to me, and it was more impressive than some of the other series. And Tyrese Maxey's DNA was all over that series against the New York Knicks. But Embiid played his tail off too. I mean, he got hurt and was still doing what he needed to do. And so now you have reinforcements. You have a Jaylen Brown who has something to prove this season after really, in my opinion, had an MVP caliber season. I think everybody looks at, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and looks at Victor Wembanyama. Here's your quote right here. And I say it quite frankly and honestly. To me, Jaylen Brown was the MVP of the NBA season this past season, and I think he.
Thank you. I agree.
To prove this season, playing for the Philadelphia 76ers, and watch out. Whether it's Tyrese Maxey's team, whether it's Jaylen Brown's team, it really doesn't matter. I think the great Dwayne Johnson said, it doesn't matter what your name is. At the end of the day, when they come out and play, if they win a championship, it doesn't really matter whose team it is as long as they're hoisting up the Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the season. And a lot of those guys have something to prove.
The Rock is somewhere. The Rock is somewhere lifting weights and eating wheat germ right now out there in Hollywood. Dwight, go ahead.
Can I get one more question in, Rick, if you don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep. One more. That's it. One more.
Draymond Green, he gave up his money. Do the Warriors take him back, or does he follow LeBron to Philadelphia?
Good question.
I see him going back to Golden State. I don't see him going to Philly.
Okay.
But I can see why you feel that way because of the Bob Myers connection.
Yeah.
And the bromance. Don't forget the bromance.
Yeah, but that don't got nothing to do with his money.
Right.
He wants his money.
So was there a wink? Listen, obviously we all assumed that because he was giving up $27.6 million, that the assumption was LeBron was coming to San Francisco. Now that ain't happening. So what's the alternative? Is he getting the $27.6 million back?
There's going to be a compromise somewhere, but I also think that opting out had more to do with leverage with Anthony Davis than it had to do with. As you know, August 6th is the deadline for the Washington Wizards, and who I've spoken about on this programming quite a bit. When I was on your show on my birthday, I didn't have the information then that I have now. And you see the Washington Wizards still trending. And I know some of y'all looked at me like I was crazy. But the Washington Wizards and Anthony Davis, and maybe I'm a little crazy, but not in this instance when I talk about basketball. But the Anthony Davis agreement between the Washington Wizards and his representation at Clutch, the deadline is August 6th. And they want a 3 to 4 year deal with a lot of money, and the Washington Wizards are seemingly not looking to budge on it. But on the Davis side, it's been shared with me that the option has options and that they're not in a rush to move in on it. But I find it interesting that Anthony Davis has till August 6th. Draymond opted out, and LeBron was looking at the Wizards, or excuse me, was looking at the Golden State Warriors, as well as the 76ers, as well as some of the other pieces. And Draymond still has not signed, and Anthony Davis has still not gotten his extension. And so going into Monday, Rich Paul and his team are going to have to make some decisions. And so I don't see Draymond going to Philly, but I do see his clients getting paid in the next week now that this LeBron saga is seemingly over on who he's going to sign with. So in answer to your question, I think that Draymond will likely go back to Golden State if he's about his money, but if he's about chasing another championship and he sees legacy, I think he would fit Philadelphia like a glove. I felt that way about Draymond Green, particularly pertaining to the San Antonio Spurs. I feel like the San Antonio Spurs are Draymond Green away from winning a championship. I think he'd fit on that team, and I think he fits on that team.
I agree.
In a way that Tobias Harris doesn't, but Tobias Harris fills a role.
And Tobias Harris is a better player than LeBron James or than Draymond Green right now. Not a better legacy or resume, but right now I think Tobias Harris brings more to the hardwood.
You have to specify that because everybody doesn't. Many people need Rosetta Stone to understand basketball, and in no context. I knew what you meant, but I think he fits on that team effortlessly. But Draymond fits on it too for us. He's the bully big brother they need. If I'm kicking Wemby's ass, Wemby's bringing Draymond to my house to kick my ass.
Yeah, and Colin Gillespie too. Brandon Scoopy Robinson. On that note, we got him. We finally got him. Brandon, you know I love you, man. You know I love you. Thank you so much for making time. The serendipity of this, right? We usually do our show on Thursday. We had to move it this week to Friday. We have you on. You've been all over the scooping of LeBron and his sweepstakes. So this means a lot that you came on and, as always, gave us phenomenal intel. And you're a dear friend of us over here at Beyond the Surface, Scoop.
Thank you for the opportunity to be myself, and I appreciate y'all.
You too, Scoop. Be well, man. Peace.
We appreciate you, dog. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
He is the absolute best. All right, so as you can see, we got a timer here. We got 14 and a half minutes left in show. We got to wrap up the topic we were on. Doc and Ashley have not weighed in on Golden State. And if you guys want to just take a quick bite out of the, should Curry ask out, I'd love to hear your take on that. Doc, you go here. Is Golden State dead in the water without LeBron?
No, they just got to do some additions by, just getting Curry some legit help. I mean, they signed Kristaps Porzingis. I'm curious to see if he's on the other side of that illness that he had. And if he is, then that's some added depth to the roster. I think they have Al Horford. I'm just curious about how good Jimmy Butler is going to be next year for the playoffs. Is he going to play significant minutes? He's going to have significant impact. If they get Draymond Green, now that's a good roster. I would just say they just need to add more bench depth and maybe one more star. And I'm not sure how they're going to get there, but Curry doesn't need to pack it up. I think he's going to be a lifer, Golden State lifer.
Okay, I dig it. Ashley, go ahead.
I don't even think if they got LeBron James, they were going to really be a splash in the water.
Bingo.
I don't think they were. Again, with all the injuries, Jimmy Butler, we don't know. We don't know his status, if he'll be ready by next year. Steph Curry, he's lost a little pep in his step too. Still, best shooter in the league, but he's been riddled with injuries as well. Draymond Green, he's going downhill. And again, I'm not taking away from anything those guys have been able to do in Golden State. It's been incredible to watch the dynasty that they've built. We haven't seen a team go back-to-back, since then. So, again, with or without LeBron James, they weren't going to do much. I don't know how they're going to get any other talent to want to go to the Warriors right now, just given the current roster and the current state of things, because any guy right now at a caliber that they would need is going to want to go to a contender, right? So I don't see how they're going to land any quality free agents at the moment. In terms of Steph, should he stay? Should he go? If he goes to the Hornets, you're not going to win a championship. So it would just be, something cool to say that he finished his career there. But I think he's just going to stay with Golden State. I think that's always kind of been that idea for him is, hey, I'm going to start here, I'm going to retire here, and that's going to be the end of it. I don't think he's going to leave, but would I like to see him go to a contender? I mean, I would, personally, for me, just because I want to see him win again on a different roster. That'd be incredible. But yeah, the Warriors weren't going to do anything with or without LeBron.
Completely agree with that. All right, so let's move into our last topic, and then we're going to have a little bit of time for a quick rant. Is LeBron James still a top 10 player? I disagree with almost everything Kendrick Perkins says, and I'm not mad at him. This isn't disrespectful. I just disagree with almost everything that comes out of his mouth, and I'm not sorry. Kendrick Perkins said, going into this season, LeBron is still a top 10 player. It is not 10 players that we could sit up here and name that we're taking above LeBron James. Again, swing and a miss by Kendrick Perkins. So I challenge myself to go through it, okay? LeBron James for me right now is the 15th best player in the NBA. There's 14 guys I'd rather have. Jokic, Wemby, SGA, Luka, Brunson, Cade, Tatum, Brown, Curry, Durant, Edwards, Halliburton, Maxey, and Mitchell. I'd rather have all those guys than LeBron James. Halliburton. And then you've got Kyrie, Giannis, Kawhi, Booker, Cat. They're behind LeBron, and that kind of comprises my top 20. So I say no. LeBron James is still not a top 10 player. Dwight Walton, you're next.
This is going to be a biased opinion. I think he's a top 10 player because he just held the league hostage. Teams wanted him. And now he's going to be a major component to the Sixers' chances of winning a championship. So, yes, I still think LeBron is a top 10 player.
Dr. X?
I hate these rankings, these 1 through 10. Like, there's tiers. You know what I mean? I don't think he's tier 1 anymore. Is he tier 2? Yeah. I think there's a lot of good players in tier 2, including Giannis. No, I think Giannis is tier 1 still. Rick, you said Giannis was, what number do you have Giannis?
In the 16 to 20 range. That's where I have Giannis.
He's top 5, Rick.
Yeah.
Disagree with you there.
Hey, Giannis.
He's like,
prove me wrong.
He's like Shaquille O'Neal. He doesn't have to hit threes, doesn't have to hit free throws. He's a Shaquille O'Neal that's more athletic and quicker. So I mean, Shaq was never in top 15 because of lacking a skill set. So I think Giannis is still tier 1. Bron is tier 2 with a lot of other players, and I still think there's some other players that we're waiting to see where they're going to sign, who are still kind of like bordering tier 2, tier 3, and Westbrook is one of those guys. And I think the Knicks need to look at Westbrook. Anyway.
Super quick, I think your Knicks need to look at Draymond Green.
Yeah.
If he's available.
Yeah.
He's very available. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you guys can't pay him very much, but we talk all the time. You guys need forward depth on the Knicks. I think Draymond Green would be a perfect addition.
You're onto something, Rick. I agree.
All right, so because of time and stuff, I love it when I'm on the same page with Dwight, because it doesn't always happen. Ashley, is LeBron still a top 10 player?
You know what, Rick? I don't know what's going on in Vegas, but I think you've been there a little. Okay.
Facts.
I don't know how much you've been drinking. I don't know how late you've been staying up, but something's going on up here, man. Giannis, top 16, 20. Tyrese Maxey and Halliburton better than LeBron. Like,
I know, that's crazy.
are you living on?
Mhm.
Are you okay? Blink
I think
twice
you guys
if you're not okay.
see. I think you guys are living in the past. You got to continue. You got to bring your opinions up
In
to
the
date.
past, LeBron is still averaging 21 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 51% from the field. He's still better than more than half the league. And yeah, maybe his athleticism declined a little bit, but his decision making is still better than most. And he's still a guy that I want on my team during the playoffs. Okay, you saw what he did against Houston in the first round. Took that series completely, took control of that. The second series, okay, against OKC. I mean, they didn't have Luka, granted, but LeBron, you got to give him credit. In that game 4, they could have easily stolen that game. Okay, I don't put any of the blame on him for that. And then in the 3 games leading up to that 4th game, they played well the first 3 quarters in all of those games. And that's with LeBron James, a 41-year-old. So to me, LeBron for sure, top 10 player. Any team would want him. Again, look at the chokehold he just put on the whole league. Teams were waiting for his decision. Adam Silver and the NBA were waiting on a decision in order to make the schedule. If that's not impact and being one of the greatest players in the league, I don't know what is. So Rick, please, we'll give you some time to change your answer. You have 6 minutes here, but LeBron is for sure a top 10 player in this league.
Okay, so we disagree on that. Now it is rant time, and again, you see the clock here. Whoo, boy. ESPN reports that the WNBA extended an invite to Caitlin Clark for the 3-point contest, and she declined. And this is so on brand for the overrated Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's resume, notoriety, empire is built on the logo 3. Caitlin is afraid to lose. Caitlin is afraid she will hurt her little brand if she loses the 3-point contest, like LeBron has been afraid to hurt his brand by losing the dunk contest. It's the same exact thing. This is marketing beats competitiveness, and it sucks. This is proof that Caitlin Clark is overrated. She runs to the smoke with the referees, okay? And she runs away from the smoke when it comes to a shooting competition, which is her claim to fame. It makes no sense. It's a fear of failure. Maybe, just maybe, this is why she's not a big-time winner. Huh, Caitlin? Will she ever be a big-time winner? It's an absolute joke to me that Caitlin Clark is ducking the 3-point contest. She's overrated, and I'll just leave it at that. That's my rant for today. Dr. X, come on in here. Final words, rant, whatever you got.
Yeah, this is going to be Nick-based. It's not about Braun. It's about the Knicks, the champions, defending champions all year until someone dethrones us. But I'm going to say, honestly speaking, I'm glad the traffic jam, as Scoop B would say, is over in terms of like where the free agent's going to go. So now we can get back to business and see where all these other people are going to, impact rosters. I love what he said about, Philadelphia, and I like how Philadelphia looks, but I'm really looking to see who the Knicks have their eye on in terms of a trade. There was someone, I'm not sure if it was a rumor or just like some people just throwing stuff out there, but I do like Khalil Weir. I think if we were able to land a player like him, he would change the roster because whenever he goes up against Wemby, he usually has a pretty good game. And I think he can only get better with the Mike Brown offense, his ability to shoot, his ability to block shots. So I'm looking for like trade partners, by February where the Knicks can make some impact. But I really like the 2 spots that we have veteran minimums. And the fact that LeBron James is taking $4 million a year for the next 2 years. I'm hoping someone like a Westbrook, someone like a DeMar DeRozan could impact that Knicks roster. And you guys threw out Draymond Green. I'm not mad at that. But the reason why I said Westbrook is because I feel like he is a Josh Hart off the bench, but can play point guard. And that wouldn't get rid of Jose Alvarado's, his impact, because honestly speaking, you could play both of them together where Jose's more of a shooter, but now you have 2 dogs out there. And we already saw how Jose could play alongside Jalen Brunson, but imagine him now playing alongside Russell Westbrook. And if you do have someone like a DeMar DeRozan, a night when Mikal Bridges doesn't have it going, DeMar is always ready to put up numbers. And I like that. A night where OG Anunoby's not available because of a hamstring injury, or he's not putting up the same numbers, he's coming back off an injury and has a slow game, bringing DeMar DeRozan. So I feel like those are two players that can impact their roster right away. They also played with each other with the Kings. So now you have a bench unit that's ready to go and just be a bench mob. And I think Westbrook's mentality fits the New York brand, as well as DeMar DeRozan's New York mentality fits the New York brand as well.
I mean, what can I say? No pushback on any of that at all. I love everything you just said right there. Ashley, rant away.
Ooh, I was debating what I wanted to talk about because we kind of touched on it earlier, but I want to rant about all the LeBron haters.
By the way, just water.
It
just
never
water,
gets old
Ashley.
to me
Just
that
water.
they keep moving the goalposts. No matter what he does, it's always some type of hate. We can't just appreciate LeBron for what he's brought to the league, for what he's done. I just want to read this off really quick. When people want to only talk about championships, if that's what they're basing their GOAT on, he has the most career points, most career minutes played, most games played, most field goals made, only member of the 30K, 10K, 10K club, most playoff points, most playoff wins, game steals, and minutes. Do I need to go on? Most all NBA
Most years
selections,
played.
most all-star
Most years
selections,
played.
most seasons played. I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on. 4 championships, 4 regular season MVPs, all-time scoring record, 4-time most valuable player, 4-time NBA Finals MVP, NBA Rookie of the Year, scoring leader. I mean, the list goes on and on. So, isn't LeBron the type of player that we should all want in the league? Think about this. Anything that you guys do, you want to be the best at, right? Why is it so wrong that LeBron came into the NBA wanting to be like Mike and pass him? We want that. We want guys to be able to play for 24 seasons. We want someone to have a work ethic like that. At least when I'm looking at my GOAT or someone that I look up to, I want that. So why are we discrediting him for everything that he does, right? I wish more NBA players had his mindset about the game and would be able to put as much money and time as they do into their craft. So when you take a look at everything LeBron's done, I'm sick of the goalposts being moved. I'm sick of everyone making excuses for why he's not one of the best, if not the best player to ever play the game. If not the best player in the league right now in terms of just when you take a look at his whole body of work. So that's my rant. I'm sick of these people. Y'all just wake up angry. Go hug somebody. Go touch grass, if you will. Go get a hobby. Go learn how to do something at the level LeBron James is doing it at.
I mean, he's the 15th best player right now. He's got that going for himself right now as we speak. All right, Dwight Walton, bring us home with your rant, man.
Two words, Ashley: envy and jealousy. That's what it is. Anyway, you know what? Since Ashley went in that direction, I'm going to go in the direction of the WNBA. No Caitlin Clark slander allowed on this podcast, Rick. None. Over the last 3 games, Caitlin Clark is averaging close to 30 points per game and 10 assists per game for a championship contending Indiana Fever. She can decline any invitation she wants. It's her world. We're just living in it. Sabrina Ionescu wasn't even invited back to Chicago to
Don't
defend
get me started, Dwight.
her three-point shooting contest championship. Let's celebrate Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young. Let's celebrate Angel Reese, who's having a pretty good season. Let's celebrate Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, Arike Ogumawale, who's having a terrific season with the Dallas Mavericks. Let's celebrate the Minnesota Lynx, Nafisa Collier coming back, McBride, who's on a heater, Rookie of the Year and MVP candidate Olivia Miles. Let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate all the good that is the WNBA. Leave the Republican Party, leave the government, leave whatever infrastructure that there is in North America out of the WNBA. Let's celebrate the stars. They're in Chicago this weekend. The WNBA is in its 30th season. There's record-breaking attendance across the league, record-breaking streaming qualities here, ratings across the board in terms of prime, whatever networks are involved with the WNBA. The WNBA is at its peak right now, and it's only going to get better. Great season so far in their inaugural seasons, talking about the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo. There are so many positive stories to talk about. No slander here. Leave Caitlin Clark alone. Leave Angel Reese alone. Please, let's talk about how great the WNBA is in their 30th season, and it's only going to get better from here. They're here to stay. I've been a fan since day one. I continue to be a fan. I love everything involved with the WNBA. They're here to stay. I am looking so much forward to how the next 30 years go on in the WNBA.
And one more thing before we wrap. I know we're like so over time. There is a new WNBA series that is airing on ESPN tonight, and I had the honor of interviewing DeWanna Bonner about this on Monday. She is going to be featured. I love that Mountain Dew picture. She's one of the girls that's featured. In addition to Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson. It's on tonight on ESPN. It's called Life in the W. I encourage everybody on here to watch it. I'm so excited. And yes, the WNBA and women in basketball need to continue to be celebrated. And Dwight, as a woman myself, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Just speaking the truth. My pleasure.
So just quickly before we go, let's keep this short. Don't bring the music back down for just 1 second. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Okay. I want to hear. Okay, I am not going to change my opinion. I think it is BULLSH. You know the rest. That Caitlin Clark declined the three-point contest as a rookie. Of course, she played 3 games last year with 5 different injuries, so she couldn't be in the three-point contest. And this year, perfectly healthy, killing it at the top of her game. And again, she's running from the smoke. Dr. X, are you at peace with Caitlin Clark declining an invite to the three-point contest?
No, I think it's out of spite for, a lot of the backlash she's gotten with other events during this WNBA season. I think she should do it. But I also understand, why she's not doing it. But to be who she is and what she's brought to WNBA, number one, she's done enough, technically. And if it's her right, if she wants to decline the option, if she wants to be focused on her season. But that kind of sings to me the same tune of LeBron ducking the dunk contest. But at least he did it. He did it when he was in high school. If you want to see his dunks in high school, go ahead. That's what he would have done in the NBA. So it's not that magnificent. He just jumps very high, not too much creativity. And he knew that about himself. So that's the reason why he ducked it. But Caitlin Clark probably doesn't want to. I don't know. I think it's political, not political in the actual political sense, but just she doesn't want to be compared. She's tired of all the BS and all the drama, and this is her way of pushing back. I'm with it.
Yeah, no, okay. I agree.
Ash, are you at peace? Are you at peace with this?
Like, I understand where you're coming from, and because she brings in such big ratings, like LeBron did. People want to see her competing in the three-point contest because that's what she's known for, right? I mean, people started drawing people drew up their eyeballs to her because of what she was doing at Iowa and how she was able to pull up from logo and hit threes like Steph Curry. I mean, that's why a lot of people have started watching the WNBA. And again, like, they might have not been here from the start, but at least they're here now. So I understand what you're saying, and I agree. But I also can sense that Caitlin doesn't want the spotlight on herself. Everyone else is doing that for her.
I don't agree with that.
Doesn't. Anytime they ask her, the other night when she put up, I forgot how many points she had. She had a crazy game the other night, and they asked her about it. She's like, oh, it was a good game. Let's move on to the next. Every time she has the opportunity to talk about herself And all the amazing things she's doing, she always deflects and talks about everybody else and doesn't want the attention on her. So I think that it's gotten to a point where she doesn't want to deal with it anymore. She doesn't want it to just be about her.
I agree.
She sees all these other women that came before her did not get the love and respect that she did. So I think it could be two things. There's nuance. Two things can be true at once. Yes, do I think she should compete? Yes, absolutely. This is what is bringing everybody to the WNBA. This is what she's known for, her three-point shooting. But on the flip side, she doesn't want to deal with this anymore. She doesn't want the attention on her. She wants the attention on everybody else.
Well, Ashley, I love the take. Tough doo-doo. Okay, when you are the it person, when you are the it person in your league, right or wrong, when you're the it person in your league, it's all going to come with it, man. The good, the bad, the ugly, the dastardly, the pathetic, it's all going to come. And guess what? It ain't going anywhere. This is going to continue as long as she's dribbling that ball and shooting that ball. And obviously, a lot of it goes way out of bounds, and it's pathetic and all that kind of stuff. But Caitlin, run to the smoke. Do the three-point contest at least one time before you retire. We are not retiring, but we're done for today. A little bit into stoppage time, like a soccer match. Dwight, but we got a game-winning goal in stoppage time right there. Hey, I want to super shout out Brandon Scoopy Robinson. He rocks. For Ashley, for Dr. X, for Dwight, for Jason and Kai, and Sean behind the glass. I am Rick Kamla. We love you all. It has been LeBron Day on Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. We'll see you all soon.
Still Bockers.